everyone. Welcome to another episode of You Oughta Know, where I introduce you to bands that you should definitely have on your radar. Today's guest is Andrew Gladu from Crawling Manifest out of Maryland. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Ben.
Awesome. Andrew, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about the band. Like, how did you guys get started? Where does the name come from?
Yeah, so we started about 5 or 6 years ago now. We were all like just starting out college, like decided, we wanted to get into this new music project, that kind of thing. The name just kind of, look, I'm going to be straight up with you, man. Like the name came from one of those random band name generators off the internet. Like there's no meaning behind the name. There's no like awesome story behind it. It was right beneath Flaming Nipples, and we knew we couldn't go with that. We were
oh man, maybe Flaming Nipples wasn't taken?
I mean, it wasn't taken. It was up for grabs, but we were like, hey, you got to make a choice here. What are we going to do?
Hey, man, there's a saying that it's only weird if it doesn't work.
Right.
So that's cool. That's cool. And so you said you guys all met. So you all met in college?
Yeah. Well, I met our drummer, or our old drummer, and one of our old guitarists. We all had a few classes together in like our community college thing. Started up the band that way, started writing some music and stuff, brought in a couple other people. All kinds of lineup changes have happened. It's me and one other guy left of the original lineup. So, but yeah, we all met in college, we started working that way, and it's just kind of evolved from there.
Awesome. How would you describe the sound? Like, talk about your influences and like your current sound right now with this lineup. What is it?
Yeah, so, with our current lineup, we're really trying to go for more of the old school thrash metal kind of sound, stuff like, Megadeth, Sepultura, nice. Anthrax, that kind of old school shit that really, hits home for, us personally. We just want to kind of really get that kind of sound back,
Yeah, and there's not a lot of it out there. And if it is, it's very well hidden. Like, so that's really cool. Like that, I think that's a niche that hasn't been explored often.
Right.
Like lately, I mean, music goes in cycles. In a few years, everybody's gonna start listening to something different. And when you go back 20 years to the day, it's like, okay, so it's kind of like this, but with a modern twist. I feel like music is just a cycle. That's awesome. So you guys have been together for 5 years. You've definitely done some shows. What has been like your most like memorable shows?
So for me personally, my favorite show that we ever played was about 2 or 3 years ago when Flesh God Apocalypse had just released their The King album.
Yeah.
And we're coming through, and they toured through Baltimore, and we were able to get onto that show. It's the only sold-out show that we've been able to play. But we got done for Flesh God Apocalypse, and that was my absolute favorite show.
Damn,
like the energy of the crowd was great.
Stuff right there, dude.
We sounded off on stage. Oh yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was my most memorable.
Like, I went to Florida a couple of years ago. A friend of mine picked me up, and on the way to his house, it's like, put some Flesh God. And he just blasted that thing like all the way on I-4, driving back to his house. It's like, wow, I haven't heard this in so long. So that's awesome. That's why when you mentioned the name, it's like, oh, yeah. That's
Nothing
great.
Quite hits in heavy metal like a goddamn harpsichord,
Yeah.
Like
Yes. Thank you. Harpsichords rule.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So, this is kind of like a topic that you kind of can't avoid right now when it comes to the situation with COVID. I know Up here in the DC area, there's been some really, really tough restrictions, both for you guys in Maryland and here in Virginia. Talk to me a little bit about how the band has been able to handle that. I mean, are you guys still practicing? Are you like recording? How is it working out for you?
So, in a way, we kind of lucked out with our current lineup because right now it's just me and our guitarist, or one of the other guitarists, Trevor Layton. So we've been able to really dive deep into just working on recording stuff. We did a lot of recording, through Zoom and FaceTime and that kind of thing. Yeah. And we started working on a new album that's supposed to be coming out early next year is what the plan is right now. So it was definitely an adjustment, figuring out how to get some of this stuff done in these current times. But when it came down to it, we kind of just had to buckle down and just get to work, you know?
Yeah, no, like, I mean, it's not like we were left with a lot of options, right?
Right. I mean, like, we couldn't go anywhere. It was the perfect time.
Yeah, it's so surreal, man. Like, I started, like, the two things that happened with, like, in my experience with COVID. Number one, I've been writing songs like crazy. Right. Number two, I'm playing Call of Duty like crazy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's like the two things that keep my sanity. It's like the guitar's back there and the controller there. So
I definitely feel that. I have taken a very deep dive into PUBG during
really?
quarantine. Oh yeah.
See, I never got it. I've never done PUBG. I heard that it's good. It's more immersive than Call of Duty, right? The maps are bigger.
Yeah, the maps are huge. Like that was always my biggest hang up with it. It's just huge.
Yeah, like we like doing the plunder mode on Verdansk because it's just such a big map. Like all my buddies, like we come from playing Battlefield, right. So the Call of Duty maps sometimes get a little bit like too tiny.
I got you.
But the big map is cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Sorry to like we deviated there for a little bit, but
it happens.
It's always good to talk shop, you know.
Oh yeah.
So do you guys have, besides the album that you're working on, do you have any shows that are planned? I know that is Maryland already opening up for live venues, or are they still restricting that?
Maryland has opened up a few, like they've lessened the restrictions on live venues. Trevor and I had a very serious talk about a month ago where we decided that we're not going to be planning on actually playing shows until more than likely at least spring of 2021.
Okay.
Just because we don't feel it's safe. We don't feel like we should be out there doing that right now, but we are absolutely planning to once things settle down a bit.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So, why don't you go ahead and just give the fans like some details about like where can they find your music, your social media, or like Bandcamp information and all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have all of our music out on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that stuff. We actually don't have a Bandcamp. That's wild now that I think about it. Why don't we have a Bandcamp? We're going to have a Bandcamp. You can also find all of our merchandise on crawlingmanifest.com. That is all up on there. And yeah, just wherever you get your music, aside from Bandcamp, wherever you get your music, we've got you covered.
Aside from Bandcamp.
Aside from Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's really cool with Bandcamp that they're doing like that once a month, like no transaction fees, no royalty fees or anything like that for musicians. That's pretty cool that they're doing that.
It is really
like
cool.
I try as much as I can. If I hear something that I like, okay, I'm gonna wait until I see it in Bandcamp. It's like, all right, cool.
Right.
Let's go ahead and do it then. So that's awesome. So yeah, get that. Bandcamp, if you want to sponsor this segment, please contact me. So, what do you want to say, like, just to close this up real quick, what do you want to say to the people that have never heard Crawling Manifest? Like, what is it like to listen to your stuff? Like, if you're a fan of XYZ, then you'll like what we do. Why don't you just go ahead and just give us that info?
Sure. So when it comes down to it, like I was saying before, we really are trying to pull that old school thrash metal feel into our instrumentals while still blending in a lot of that kind of modern metal vocal styles. So you still have like the super harsh vocals that you hear in like modern death metal and modern thrash metal and that kind of stuff, but with the guitar work and bass work of, you know, old school stuff like Exodus and Testament and like shit like that, you know. So if you like that kind of stuff with some wild, really politically charged lyricism, check us out, you know.
Yeah, man, you always got to sing about something. You might as well sing about, you know, important stuff, right?
Oh yeah, that was my thought.
That's pretty awesome, dude. Andrew, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure. Everybody watching this, remember, Crawling Manifest. You can check them out on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere but Bandcamp until maybe a few hours or maybe a few days from now.
We'll get it done.
Hopefully by the time this comes out on Monday, you can go to Bandcamp and check them out.
Sounds like a plan.
Andrew, once again, it was a pleasure, man. Just have a great day, okay?
Hey, you too. Thank you very much.
All right.